Is that why you called her your roommate and never your girlfriend? No, I have said I am never doing another public relationship ever again. Now, here's another really fun one. And this is the real big one. Okay? Guilt trips you into giving blowjobs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. Pink, you implied that I was paying you to suck my dick. That is not true. You know that's not true. What you would do is you would go upstairs, you would record your OnlyFans, and then you would beg me to suck my dick. You say that I would say, do your job, you don't pay rent. This is factually untrue. Here is you paying fucking rent. Not one time, but multiple fucking times. That is you paying fucking rent.
Okay. So there's that clip, but then Denims has this clip.
Did you go over the part where Pink contradicted herself, where she said she paid rent and now she says she never paid rent? She never said that she never paid rent. She said that Tectone told her that since you don't pay rent, you have to pay me back in these other ways. And then we literally saw a video of him doing exactly
So it's
that.
fucking bullshit.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said that he said she never paid rent.
Is that the garbage has not been taken out in 7 fucking days. Okay? The garbage has not been taken out in 7 fucking days. It's Pink's responsibility. And the reality is that she's in my fucking house role playing as a fucking goth Hooters orderer, waitress. And honestly, it's really fucking annoying because the reality is she doesn't pay fucking rent. She's not doing her fucking responsibilities and she needs to do her fucking job. Okay? Because the garbage is fucking everywhere. Okay? And it's her fucking turn. And it.
So, the thing that she literally accused him of.
Yeah. And so in case you don't know where we're at, you didn't follow this before, Tectone's ex-girlfriend Pinkchyu said that Tectone was an abusive partner. And she didn't really have any evidence when she said this. It was just her word. And obviously Tectone said, no, I didn't do that. And he said he didn't want to use all of his evidence. He wanted to hold on to as much of it as he could, but he was going to come out with 5% of it to disprove things. And that 5% was there, where he was saying, why would I ever say you don't do your share, you don't pay rent when you do pay rent? That wouldn't make any sense. Why would I say that? But then there's a clip of him saying, you need to take the garbage out. You don't pay rent, doing exactly the thing that he said he wouldn't do. And normally I wouldn't really draw all that much from it, but that was the 5% that he thought was worth coming out with and sharing with the world. And very quickly, people like Denims found that he contradicted himself. So that to me looks worse than pretty much anything he could have done. If he would have ignored it, that would have looked better to me, because otherwise it was just his ex-girlfriend saying something without any evidence. And in that case, the most I'm going to do with that is like, maybe it's a red flag. If I hear anything about Tectone again in the future, maybe I'll be a little bit more likely to believe it because I have heard something like that in the past. But if it's just somebody saying something, I'm not going to do all that much with that for the most part, unless it's a trusted friend or family member, something like that. But so that happened, and it's been quiet since then. Nobody's really been talking about this as far as I've seen. But Tectone tweets out, I hate that I even have to make this post, but I can't stay silent anymore. For nearly half a year, Pink has been subtweeting about me, spreading accusations that are completely untrue. I tried to handle this via the legal system, but Pink knows the loopholes in defamation cases. She avoids using my name so she can claim plausible deniability. Her strategy has been to post vague comments about me, hoping others would connect the dots and stir things up, all to damage my reputation without taking any responsibility. Let me be clear. False accusations of grape or SA are not just harmful, They're reprehensible. These are serious matters, and making false claims is beyond unforgivable. Every single accusation Pink has made against me is false. There are no police reports, no legal action, because there's nothing to stand on. Her behavior stems from resentment because I moved on from our relationship faster than she wanted. Now I want to address some specific claims. Consensual interactions. Every intimate moment we shared was entirely consensual. There was never a time when you didn't fully engage or want to participate. I have messages to back this up, but out of respect for your privacy and because of their graphic nature, I won't share them unless absolutely necessary. My hesitation around sex. From the start, I was open with you about my past trauma. I told you I'd been essayed and raped, which made it difficult for me to fully engage. For you to weaponize false SA claims against someone with this history is inhumane. The NDA lie. You've implied that I used an NDA to silence someone about SA allegations against me. That's legally impossible. NDAs can't prevent someone from reporting a crime. Accusations of bullying you about autism. You've accused me of degrading you over your autism, which couldn't be further from the truth. I went out of my way to support you, sitting with you for hours to help you navigate social situations or understand things you found confusing. I even used visual aids because I knew that worked better for you. I was always there for you. Cheating allegations. You've called me a cheater, but I've never cheated on anyone. Ever. I have been cheated on, however. Pink, let me remind you, throughout our entire relationship, we had at least one roommate, sometimes two, who were fully aware of everything going on between us. They saw how we interacted every day, and none of them ever witnessed any wrongdoing or abuse. Honestly, the worst thing anyone could say about me was that I didn't hold the door open for you one time at a hookah bar. That's it. Your friends also knew about your struggles and tried to help you just like I did. We were there for you before and after your stay in the mental hospital when your mental health took a turn. We supported you as best we could while you were trying out different medications, experimenting and searching for what worked. But Pink, your constant trauma dumping and complaining took a toll on all of us. It drained our emotional energy to the point where it was really hard to be around you. Even so, we still did our best to support you. We cared, even when it wasn't easy. When our relationship ended, I tried to handle things respectfully, but your behavior spiraled. Since then, you've caused me to lose friends, money, family connections, and even feel unsafe in public, all because of a false narrative you've pushed. I've kept every piece of evidence, text, videos, everything from our time together. I don't want to share it, but I will if I have no other choice. If you have proof of your claims, show it, and I'll respond with mine. So, like I was saying, I hadn't heard anybody talking about this since the previous stuff with that denim clip the first time around where he refuted all this stuff. And he, to be fair, he says that she's been subtweeting him. I haven't heard or seen anything about that. That's not to say that she hasn't, but this is bringing more attention to any of it than anything I've heard about. And he says here, I tried to handle this via the legal system, but Pink knows the loopholes in defamation cases. She avoids using my name so she can claim plausible deniability. I've listened to some other people talk about this, and from quick Googling of my own, in the US, it doesn't seem to matter if you don't say somebody's name. If it's clear to a reasonable person who you're talking about, then that can be defamation. You don't have to say Tectone did this. If you're a public figure like Pinkchyu and people know you've dated Tectone and you say, the bald former OTK streamer that I dated, well, that can still be defamation. You can still get got for that, even though you didn't say Tectone's name or his online username. So it doesn't really make sense that he would say this. And the the weirdest part about this is some of the replies here. You have LaRoe and Shinya here, both in the replies to this. And you go to this Leroux guy's comments here. He says, as Tectone's literal roommate, who was there from beginning to the end of y'all's relationship, who saw everything, I never witnessed anything abusive or even close to that. Teccy was nothing but the best to her. 1 out of 10. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? He's rating it 1 out of 10, but no, okay. He's numbering his tweets there. Okay. I see what's going on. Um, so yeah, this guy says he lived with them and he saw everything, which I think is pretty obviously absurd. Currently I live alone, but my previous living situation was I lived with a lifelong friend of mine and his girlfriend. And I mean, I saw more of their relationship than most people for sure, but I am in no way under the illusion that I saw or heard everything, right? There's times I was out of the house or they were out of the house. Like there's just no way that you know or see everything. It's just very silly to say that. But he goes on and responds to Black, who says, "You're an ex-mod who now leeches off him for free rent. Actually, current mod. And also, I'm paying rent this month. Yippee." Okay, so I mean, I gotta be honest, your word doesn't mean all that much to me then. If you're a current mod to this guy and you pay rent to him, so you're you're living in one of his properties, he's your landlord. Yeah, I would imagine you have good things to say about that guy, or nothing at all. But he goes on, "We all slept and lived on the same floor. The walls were very thin to the point where I could hear voices raised very easily. Never heard that. I was even asked to keep quiet myself at times since I got loud gaming. I never heard anything abusive. Pinky and Teccy only spoke highly of each other, and we often hung out and had good convos and good times. Pink herself would invite me out to stuff at times with them too. Pink and I were supposed to be friends in my eyes, but as I've heard from many people, she talked crap behind my back to my other friends. So to me, that proves she was kind of a person who needs an enemy in some regard to go on in life. She was always talking bad about Freem, another past ex, or any other person she deemed annoying. She would always find a reason to be miserable, even if there's no reason to be. A rather serious moment happened as well, where Pink went to the mental hospital. This was near the time her and Teccy broke up. I stayed downstairs for around 45 to 50 minutes, making sure she was okay. First of all, this just I I get, you want to defend your friend, but this seems like a lot to reply to somebody else's tweet. Like, to be fair, Tectone's was very long, so I guess maybe you say that merits a long response. But I, it, replying with this much, it seems weird that you would just kind of impromptu. You would see that tweet and reply with a series of 10 tweets, and you have them numbered from the very beginning. I don't know, maybe he went back after the fact and edited them to see the numbers, but it seems like he knew how many tweets he was going to do from the beginning. So to me, it kind of comes across a little bit coordinated or planned, something like that. Not to say that it is for sure. I'm just speculating, but that's how it comes across to me here. And also, Tectone felt the need to bring up that Pinkchyu went to the mental hospital during their relationship, and now this guy's bringing that up too, kind of doubling down on this thing that's maybe supposed to discredit her and the things that she says about Tectone. But he goes on, "I have experience with friends in a decline of mental state because I value her. I wanted to make sure she was safe, even though I myself was afraid. She went to mental hospital for a while, and I only saw her one more time after that. I noticed her mental state after their breakup, and that night specifically declined drastically. The accusations about Grape and SA are untrue in all regards. She's just a bitter ex who wants to make Teccy hurt for things he never did. There were 2 nights in a row where I drove Teccy to the hospital for severe panic attacks because of all this. This is the worst accusation a man in his career field can receive. She does this on purpose and needs help desperately. The countless amount of times I've seen Tectone put Pink's mental ahead of his own needs is crazy, and for her to repay him like this is inhuman." Oh, it really, I mean, that does just, it seems like a lot that you just you see Tectone, or Teccy, as he refers to him, tweet out about this kind of out of the blue. That's how it came across to me. Is this was out of the blue. Nobody's been talking about this. And he makes this tweet, and then this guy has 10 tweets seemingly planned out to respond to it and numbers them and everything there. So it comes across very strange to me. But then here's Shinya, who also was in the replies to Tectone's tweet. Speaking as someone who has been friends with both Tectone and Pinkchyu, I can corroborate everything Tectone said above is true. So again, there's that drastic language of everything. These people are omnipotent in regards to Tectone's relationships just because they were friends or roommates. I have spent dozens upon dozens of hours around these two, both individually and together, and can assure you that there was no acts of wrongdoing within their relationship. I mean, is that even true of a single relationship? There are no acts of wrongdoing within the relationship. I mean, that's not true of any relationship that I've been in, of either party. They both spoke incredibly highly of each other, encouraged each other to be better versions of themselves they wanted to be, and just had an enormous bond all relationships strive for. I am saddened that Pink has sunk this low with her claims about Tectone. I was one of the first people to attempt to comfort Pink when the situation between the two had finally blew up. Not once during this time did Pink mention any sort of essay or grape, and was mainly focused on the cheating allegations. None of the statements she's made about Tectone are true in any capacity, and has turned into a scorned ex attempting to hurt the biggest thing she possibly could in his life, his career. So again, this person is also repeating what what was the last person's name? What Leroux said, where she's just trying to go after his career. It's really strange to me how much they hit on the same points, and I don't know. I just get a very strange vibe from this. It doesn't seem like people naturally seeing Tectone's tweet and replying. That is not the impression I get from these at all. I sincerely hope Pink is able to find the help she needs, as many people who were close to her understand the amount of mental health struggles she is going through. And again, they hear questioning Pink's mental health. So all three of them have done that here. It's it's really strange to me. It could be that everybody here is just telling the story as they saw it, calling balls and strikes. But it just seems very, very strange to me. And okay, yeah, this is just Pinkchyu's tweet there that Tectone read earlier. So yeah, that's essentially the rundown on this. I didn't just go through Tectone's argument here at the beginning again real quick.
I'm never doing another public relationship ever again. Now, here's another really fun one. And this is the real big one. Okay? Guilt trips you into giving blowjobs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent.
Do your job, you don't pay rent. But then he's going to say here, I would never say that. You do pay rent. Or you
I
did.
took you to a water park, so you owe me. Pink, you implied that I was paying you to suck my dick. That is not true. You know that's not true. What you would do is you would go upstairs, you would record your OnlyFans, and then you would beg me to suck my dick. You say that I would say, do your job, you don't pay rent. This is factually untrue. Here is you paying fucking rent. Not one time, but multiple fucking times.
Right. So yeah, he wouldn't say that to her because she paid rent.
Did you go over the part where Pink contradicted herself, where she said she paid rent and now she says she never paid rent? She never said that she never paid rent. She said that Tectone told her that since you don't pay rent, you have to pay me back in these other ways. And then we literally saw a video of him doing exactly
So it's
that.
fucking bullshit.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said that he said she never paid rent.
Is that the garbage has not been taken out in 7 fucking days. Okay? The garbage has not been taken out in 7 fucking days. It's Pink's responsibility. And the reality is that she's in my fucking house role-playing as a fucking goth Hooters orderer, waitress. And honestly, it's really fucking annoying because the reality is she doesn't pay fucking rent. She's not doing her fucking responsibilities, and she needs to do her fucking job.
So, yeah, he says he would never say that, but there he is on live stream saying, you don't pay rent. You need to take out the garbage. And that was the one piece. You can go back. I did another video. I'll link the previous video about this that I did about it, where you can see. But he said this is the one piece, the 5% out of my evidence that I'm going to bring up to really refute this, and it's pretty much instantly proven to be meaningless. It's you said you would never say this, but then here's you saying that. So that's gone. Then months later, he comes out with this new tweet, and he has a roommate and another friend respond to it, and it just comes across as so coordinated ahead of time. I really this LaRoe guys especially, I don't know how to read this other than that it was planned ahead of time, because he has the numbers here: 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Like that's not an impromptu response to seeing your friend's tweets. Oh, let me respond, and then put like that. And also, I don't know how Twitter works, but look how long his was. Can you not do it all in one? I'm assuming not, or he wouldn't have done that. But that it doesn't help the case of it not being planned. And then they all feel the need to bring up, oh, you had to go to a mental hospital, Pinkchyu. They all felt the need to bring that up. None of this reads as people naturally responding to their friend tweeting something and just giving their side of things. That's not how it comes across to me at all. And obviously, there's still no evidence. As far as I'm aware, Pinkchyu still has not provided any evidence to prove the things that she's saying. So I'm definitely not saying here that we know Tectone did anything. And if he would have just stayed quiet, I would be I would be further away from thinking he's a weirdo who maybe did do some abusive stuff than I am now, because his response has just been so weird and can do nothing but cause more doubt. I really don't understand why this is his approach. And if this is his friends naturally responding, I think they're screwing him over. Really, he's got to tell me, hey, cool it. Maybe don't repeat so many of my specific points when you say, yes, this is my friend, and I saw everything. Yeah, that was another thing. He says they saw everything. Who was there from the beginning to the end of y'all's relationships, who saw everything. You just don't. You just don't. Even if you are living with them, you don't see everything. Yeah, it's still very inconclusive. Again, I'm not saying that you can know Tectone did anything for sure, but I gotta be honest, I definitely lean on Pinkchyu's side now, just because of how awful Tectone's responses have been.